We're halfway through our California road trip series now. We've left Palm Springs and heading for our final destination of San Diego.
And you might have seen in a previous video that we had quite a hotel disaster in Palm Springs, and we were really worried about our accommodation in San Diego itself.
It was a VRBO, which we'd never done before as well, so we were hoping it was going to be okay.
Was it? Let's find out.
So sadly our time in the desert had come to an end and it was time to pack the cases and head off to San Diego for the final 5 nights of our trip. We wanted to avoid the really busy freeways that we'd experienced on the way to Palm Springs, so took a different route down to San Diego that would take us through the wine region of Temecula and the town of Poway in the greater San Diego area, where we were stopping for lunch as heard about a really good place on Instagram.
And speaking of Instagram, why don't you head on over there right now on your phone and follow us at Traveling with Teens Official. That's at Traveling with Teens Official, where you can see pictures of our past trips as well as our future ones.
Obviously, Tony doesn't understand that we cannot time travel, so there will be no pictures of future trips. However, we will be covering our Seattle and Alaska trip, which is coming up in April.
Yeah, and we're going to do that in real time on Instagram. That's what I meant.
If you look carefully in the background of this footage, you will be able to see what we think is the world's longest ever train. It was a freight train and it went on for miles.
As we turned off the main interstate, the landscape got a lot more dramatic and beautiful to look at, which was more interesting for us and for the kids.
Yeah, it was much more rural and we were seeing farms, lots of dairy farms, lots of cows and little fruit stands, and a totally different side to California than we'd seen at all this trip. In fact, different to any type of California trip we've ever made before as well.
Despite the fact that we were all starving and we had a car with 2 hangry teens in it, we didn't stop in places like this. We actually kept going until we reached our first destination on this leg of the trip, which is the town of Temecula.
This was the real surprise of our trip actually, because we hadn't actually done any research on Temecula. I'd heard it was a good place to stop, and so we made it our coffee stop. And it was really great. It was a Saturday morning, there was a farmer's market in town. We couldn't buy anything on the farmer's market because it literally was a farmer's market. It was all fresh fruit and vegetables. It did look incredible though. So we walked through the market, which was great. It was the Saturday before Christmas, it was the 23rd of December. So there was Christmas music playing, it had a really nice vibe. And we enjoyed looking around the market. We then made our way into the town proper, and we were so surprised to find so many really lovely places to eat and drink. We could quite happily have had a meal there. The old town is fantastic to explore. It's a real little gem. I'd highly recommend it if you're on a road trip. It's definitely worth stopping, particularly at Christmas. It was really nicely decorated. Lots of locals, not really very many tourists around, but everyone was out having a really good time. So we stopped, we walked up and down, we stopped for coffee and had a really nice morning.
Well, it wasn't really a morning. We were there for an hour, hour and a half tops. But what really struck me as an American is how unique Temecula looks. It's not like any place I'd ever been. It was almost like a fake town, a Western Wild West set or something like that, something you might find in a theme park, but it was real. It was absolutely real. The buildings were all done sympathetically to the original architecture. And in front of the town hall, there was even an ice skating rink. There was lots to do in Temecula for people of all ages.
We could have stayed here longer and had lunch, as there really was so many nice places to choose from. However, I had my heart set on a place in Poway that I had been looking at online, particularly on Instagram, for the last few months as we prepared for the trip.
But it wasn't all about the food. Everywhere you turn in Temecula, there's photo opportunities, like on this bridge, and even in front of the shops, which I would say they're themed, but they're not really themed. It's just genuine, authentic California. Beautiful.
So it was coffee here, and then back in the car and on our way to the greater San Diego area.
At this point, the boys and I are officially starving, so we are thinking in the back of our minds, this place that you've promised us, Beth, better be good in Poway. We're about to see.
So we got to Poway at lunchtime, and what did we find? Another really beautiful, picturesque little town, really, really well done. Lots of interesting things here. There used to be a railroad that went through it, and the tracks are still there, and they do like fun rides on it. We didn't actually have time to do that while we were there, but we had a little wander and explore, and naturally there was another farmer's market, although this one was actually finishing up for the day, so we didn't really get to have a look around and explore. But we did wander around over little bridges, through park areas. It's really pretty. Again, a really, really nice area we found, not busy at all, even this close to Christmas. Lots of local people having a nice time. We found these guys jamming, making sort of country music outside the back of a small museum, which was sadly closed by the time we got there.
It was closed, but you don't really need anything to be open, particularly when walking around this part of Poway. It's just beautiful. And whether there's a farmer's market on or not, there's a lot of places to eat and drink, and they're all quite unique, like the Hop Stop and lots of other places that are barbecue based and really authentic. My favorite place, at least in name, was Holy Crepe. And I quite fancied this Smokin' Jay's barbecue, which we'd also seen on Instagram and on YouTube. However, Beth said, no, we're going across the railroad tracks, we're going to the hamburger factory, end of story. And well, here we go.
This place was a real genuine find. It wasn't catering to tourists, it was just a local restaurant, and my word, it was good. I ordered the black and blue burger, as I love blue cheese on a burger, and Tony and the boys ordered the Orn burger, which had fried avocado in, which I didn't try, although I kind of wish I had. Was it any good, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, it had me at fried avocado. You can't get much more Californian than that, I suppose. But it was absolutely perfect. I was not expecting from the outside of the restaurant, or even from the inside, which was kitsch and Americana, I was not expecting something as good quality for the price. It was really, really reasonably priced, and yeah, we had a great time.
The service was impeccable. I think they found us a bit of a novelty because we were British, and they gave us these for free. They call them the world's smallest sundaes, and they are actually on the menu for $2 each, but they gave them to us for free, which was really, really kind of them, and we really enjoyed it. And if it wasn't so far out from the centre of, well, I say it's far out, it's about 30 minutes from the centre of San Diego, but we had other things to do, I would have happily gone back.
But there was no going back on this day. We were headed straight for San Diego, in fact, straight for Mission Beach, which was our final destination and our final accommodation on this day. Now, the question was still hanging in the back of our minds. Was this going to be another Palm Springs? Were we going to have accommodation that lived up to the pictures and up to our expectations?
We'd booked a VRBO this time as well, so we weren't sure what we were going to find, if it was going to be as good, again, as the pictures looked. It had really good reviews, but given that our original hotel in Palm Springs had also had really good reviews, we were a little nervous. But driving in towards Mission Beach is just stunning. We were already falling in love with San Diego. Who wouldn't? It's such a perfect city, and we loved Mission Beach. For us as a family, it was the perfect destination for us to spend 5 days and to spend the Christmas holiday.
In case you're wondering, San Diego's at the very bottom of California, and Mission Beach is on a little isthmus, a little strip of land. On one side there is Mission Bay, and on the other side is the Pacific Ocean. We were staying right in the middle of that skinny little strip of land. When you get there, it's actually one main road, and on either side you've got water. That's pretty much it.
But there are plenty of coffee shops and restaurants and sports shops, places where you can hire bikes, there's tattoo parlours, there's all sorts of things along Mission Beach. And just off of this main road, there are lots of little tiny streets which have lots of lovely beach houses.
On this side of the street, down this little alley, is the Pacific Ocean, and on the other side are these little beach houses which lead to Mission Bay. And in between them, our house. Well, our house for the week.
As we said earlier, we rented this house through VRBO, which we'd never done before. We've used Airbnb, but we hadn't done VRBO, and we were really impressed. They'd left some things out for us on the table from Trader Joe's, snacks, pretzels, tangy turtles, which are incredible, and various drinks, which was a really nice touch. So as you walk in, there's a small living area. There's also heating and aircon, which is fantastic for a property of this age. Here's our bedroom, which was great. Lots of space, lots of storage, which was really, really handy. Double wardrobes, had everything else you could need. Irons, ironing boards, not that we needed it.
And a surprising amount of light, given the fact that these houses are sandwiched in between each other on a very small strip of land. Lots of light in this house. Right next to the master bedroom, you'll find the one and only bathroom in this house. It was okay. It was enough for us. Had a shower and a tub and a window that led outside for ventilation. It was okay.
Excuse the towels on the floor. It was our checkout day when we filmed this. The next room along the corridor was the room that the boys stayed in, which actually slept 3. They take it in turns if there are bunk beds as to who got the top bunk. On this occasion, it was our youngest son. But again, plenty of room for the 5 nights that we were in San Diego.
If you're interested in hiring this house on VRBO, we'll leave a link in the description down below. Just note that in that second bedroom, there is no storage. It's only in the master. To the left of the living room, you'll have a kitchen diner, which was absolutely huge for us for the size of the house. More than enough space for us to cook our own meals and keep our own food, which we did a majority of the time. Helped keep costs down and helped make Christmas a little bit more festive, a little bit less of a risk. When you go out and maybe have a bad meal at Christmas time, we were in control of our food and it was quite a nice thing.
The inside of the house was great for us, as was the outside. There was a patio area which we used quite frequently. We'd go outside for coffee in the mornings. There was a barbecue, which we didn't get round to using. We were a minute away from Mission Bay, so we would go down and we would watch the sunrise in the morning. And in the evening, about 8:45, we would catch the SeaWorld fireworks, which we could see from the beach, which was fantastic.
There was also this table, which we used for eating takeaways and things like that when the weather played ball, which it did most of the trip. And on the other side of this house, as I said before, just down this row of houses, across the main street, and you can kind of see it there in the background, is the Pacific Ocean. Can't beat it.
It was less than a 3-minute walk away and you were on the beach. It was great. We also found it a really safe area as well. We're a bit concerned, obviously, whenever you book anyway, you don't know what it's going to be like. But we were concerned about safety and we felt safe the whole time we were there. Look at those views. It's just incredible.
And also we had a car parking space. That's not our car, but we had a car parking space at our VRBO, which really helped out because parking is at a premium in Mission Beach. And this was a beautiful sunset on our first night in Mission Beach, obviously, but you could enjoy sunset every night and sunrise on the other side every morning. So you just basically get the best of everything in one location.
Walking out of our rental across to the beach and then turning right takes us down to Pacific Beach, where there are even more restaurants and shops and things to do.
Have you stayed on the beach in Southern California? Let us know in the comments below what your favorite places are, or your favorite places might be if they're on your bucket list. As our first night in Mission Beach drew to a close, we were really excited about the days ahead and all the exploring we would do in Mission Beach itself.
We woke up, took our coffee down to watch the beautiful sunrise over Mission Bay, which is something we did every morning when we stayed in Mission Beach. It was to die for. It was gorgeous.
An unexpected side of staying on Mission Beach was the pelicans. They're absolutely everywhere.
There was always a few people around, even early in the morning, walking dogs, going for a run, or just like us, enjoying the sunrise.
A bit later on, once the boys had dragged themselves out of bed, we decided to explore this side of the peninsula. And there's a walkway that takes you all the way down along the hotels and some of the neighborhoods along the way.
A couple of minutes walk from where we stayed, and just as the bay curves round, you've got the Catamaran Hotel. Now, we didn't actually pop in here, but it looked really nice, and apparently it has just been voted one of the top 10 restaurants in the United States, so it might be worth giving it a go if you're in the area.
All in all, it's just a nice place to be and to pretend you live in, if only for 5 minutes. But speaking of living there, we actually had something else to take care of.
It's Christmas Eve. We're off to the laundry. Living our best lives. This is maybe wants to do this in other places now.
No laundromat.
Yeah, but it's Christmas Eve.
I haven't been to one of these in 25 years, and they haven't changed a bit. $8. What? Oh, but these are $5. Okay, but
Yeah.
that's still a lot.
But you need to go. Oh, you can pay by card.
Pay by card, that's fine. Feeling. I'm trying to avoid a copyright strike.
All right. Okay.
Deck the halls with underpants. Yes, get them all in. Oh, how to embarrass your children. Thank God they're not here. Merry Christmas. Ooh, I wanna take you. Why don't you take them all? Take them all.
Get there fast. Way down to Kokomo.
Last one. All right, machine in use. You feel like you're in a movie?
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't think we lived in New York.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
You'd think that,
We used to live in New York.
You would honestly think we've never, actually lived in America.
It's been
Tony,
20
you're American.
I know, but it's been 20...
But we're like, we're playing living in America.
It's
Even
like-
though we could, because you're American.
Yeah, but this is like being in a movie in the 1980s.
This is
So we're in
just the coolest place to spend Christmas. I
Karate
think
Kid
we've
and
ever
Top
done.
Gun, and yeah, no, it is. It's definitely cool. If you enjoy laundry-based footage like this and you'd like to see more of it, why not give this video a like so it can spread to more people? We'd really appreciate it. And while you're there, maybe leave a comment or even subscribe to our channel, Traveling with Teens, because we do lots of laundry on our trips.
It's also completely free. So go ahead, subscribe. The boys didn't completely agree with us that doing laundry is cool and makes you feel like you live somewhere, so while we waited for the laundry to be done, we went down to the beach, turned left and made our way along the boardwalk up to Belmont Park, which is an amusement park.
There's lots of places to eat at Belmont Park, as well as, of course, rides. And if you buy the Go City Pass for San Diego, like we did, your tickets are included, or they're one of your choices that you can make with your ticket. And you can have an all-day pass. The restaurants of Mission Beach are not confined to Belmont Park. There are places like Moe's and Molly's and lots of places up and down the strip where you can have a cocktail, you can have lunch, dinner, even breakfast in some of the coffee places.
Right on the corner from where we were staying, there was a gyros shop. Now, we are huge gyros fans. We really like these when we're on holiday in Greece, so we figured we would give a San Diego version a go, and it was very good. Again, not too expensive either. We ate it on the patio outside our beach house.
But there is so much more to San Diego than just Mission Beach, and we're going to cover that next week in more detail. So please join us for that, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you know when that video drops next Sunday.
And don't worry, there will be no more visits to the laundromat.
But what if we need to do laundry?
We don't.